Hello and welcome to another episode of the Anime Lounge podcast. I'm your host Lance, here with my other host Matt. Every episode, we like to enjoy a couple adult beverages behind the mic, and today I will be drinking a Jim Beam 7-year old fashioned with a new Glarus spotted cow on the side. What about you, Matt?
I will be drinking a oldie but a goodie, some Journeyman's Distillery. This is Silver Cross.
Oh, I
The
remember that.
Yep, couldn't tell you why it's called Silver Cross. Just
Yeah, right.
it's Silver Cross. It's another whiskey. It's been sitting on my bar as a shot pour drink for a long time. We kind of just skip over that, grab the bottles that are on the table, and we're like, yeah, this is what we want. So I was like, you know what? Let's get some of that. It's been a minute.
That's right. I remember you have that fancy little upside down bottle shot pourer kind of thing.
Yes,
It's
that
so fancy. I love that thing.
we've been neglecting it. I will say that because it,
Yeah,
it
right.
it was a little stiff when I tried using it.
Yeah.
And then I am drinking some Wisconsinitis Three Sheeps cream ale.
Mm. Always a
Thank
good
you.
drink.
Yes, thank you for leaving that at the house.
Yep, left you a couple. One or two at least.
Yep.
All right, Matt. So, what are we going to be covering today?
We will be covering season 4 of The Rising of the Shield Hero, which centers around Naofumi and his party dealing with Cutinlo targeting Raftalia, leading them to journey to the lands of Silkbelt and Cutinlo, where Raftalia becomes a revolutionary symbol amidst political turmoil, all while preparing for the Phoenix's return. Thank you, Google AI, because that is essentially a better way than what I was trying to think of when I was thinking of this.
Yeah, I agree. Normally, don't give two shits about AI, but yeah, that was a very simplistic way of saying what this is about, and I appreciate that one.
Yeah, that one's spot on. I like that one. Lance, before we do get into this one, do you want to give us that Lance's lesson?
Today's Lance's Lessons is going to be the Japanese word for tiger. And tiger is Tora. Tora is spelt Tora. And Tora is very relevant to today's episode because one of our main characters basically just transforms into a badass tiger and he gets a huge glow up. So I was very happy to see this one.
Yes, that is a moment of contention slash questioning I have. But yes, I know exactly what you mean.
Right. And obviously that will be a topic of conversation.
Yeah.
But Matt does have a little bit of unfortunate news. So how's that going to go?
Yes, unfortunately, the manga is not caught up with the anime, so there is no manga mentions for this one.
Pretty crazy. But ultimately, that's all right because we do know that this is originally a light novel source. So you can't necessarily expect a manga and an anime to all stay up to date with everything.
Yeah, if anybody remembers from when we covered season 3, and basically it was just half, like a portion, like a couple episodes of season 3. That yeah, there's nothing here for this one, so not a big deal. It's obviously not the first one. If you've paid attention to any of our other episodes, where Bunny Girl or Rascal also does not have the manga that's caught up to the anime.
Right. So we do what we can. And if we can't, then oh well.
Yeah, yeah, and not. I'm trying to get through the Jobless Reincarnation light novel series. So that has been my priority. I could not start this one and get far
No,
enough.
so yeah, exactly. Especially talking about light novels, that's a huge time commitment.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of another light series, Matt, I know you've been a little bit in the deep weeds about slime, and I know we're going to be. This episode's not going to launch for like another month until after this recording date, so the general public might already know this information. But you shared some crazy information about slime and how they're trying to fast forward through some potential light novel details.
Yes, found out that Slime is going to be a 5 core series. The rumor is 10 to 13-ish episodes per core. So we're looking at 50 to 60 episodes. And if that stays on track to what they normally do, which is 2 volumes per, we're going to be 10 volumes into 10 volumes deep for the next series or the next season.
And do you anticipate that being like the absolute finale of Slime?
No, no,
Oh, not
no,
even that.
no. It's close. They're definitely ramping up towards the end, but I want to say that's going to be volumes. Let me do a quick notes search on this one. Man, I feel like it's been forever since we covered the last season of Slime.
Yeah, pretty much.
So Slime season 3 and then chapter 118. Okay, so I didn't do any notes for that one. So the light novel covers volumes through 9. 7 through 9 for the latest season, and there are currently 23 volumes. And so we're talking it's probably going to go up to the final arc is what I would guess, and it'll leave 3 to 4 volumes for the last season.
Yeah, and I kind of want to say they have no reason not to release the final chunk of information in movie form like things have been doing. So I would not be surprised. I would also like to assume that the next season 5 cores worth of information is going to take like 2 more years, and then after that they'll just release the rest of it in theatrical form. So as assuming that theatrical movie releases continue to rise in popularity, as of right now, I'm not going to be surprised if that's the route they take.
Could be. Yeah, that's I guess it wouldn't surprise me too much about that one. Wow, what happened to Okay. Sorry, I was trying to look and see where I had left off for the light novel for Slime, but yeah, I can't find it. So it's just going to be
Hmm.
I guess I'm going to be left in the dark on that one. I'll have to
That's all right.
uh
We can
yeah.
update ourselves later.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I could see them doing a movie. I know they're doing another movie later in 26 or early 26. I know it's been announced. I'm drawing a blank on the exact potential release date on that one, but I know it is in 26. And then yeah, it'll be I'm very curious cuz the light novel is over with 23 volumes and full of spin-offs and stuff, but yeah,
Okay.
it's going to be crazy, absolutely craziness.
All right. Well, one day in the future, we'll not only will we cover these, but we can officially say that Slime is done.
Yes, unlike Shield Hero, which has more light novel volumes coming, there are currently 22 released with 23, 24, and 25 supposedly coming out in the near future.
Jeez. So that, I mean, I guess that'll only influence a little bit about what we'll speculate at the end of our conversation. But
Mhm.
goddamn,
Yeah, this is very interesting. This season was interesting, and like I said, I have some remarks I can make as far as this series is concerned. So I guess let's get into it. What did you think of season 4?
season 4 as a whole is pretty neutral. I would say it's not like anything was 100% like spectacular. I do have some pros and I do have some cons about all this stuff. This is relatively mid. I to compare this to season 1 is still on the low end, but to
Yeah.
compare this to season 2, this is on the upper end. I did appreciate this one because there was still plenty of action and
Okay.
there was still a lot of growth and a lot of things to look forward to in the future. One of the weirdest things to think about is we've been preparing for this Phoenix for like the past 2 seasons, and
Yep.
here we are still preparing for this Phoenix. So
Yeah.
at this rate, I goddamn expect this Phoenix scene to be fucking mind blowing. because there is so much build up to this Phoenix. So that's my biggest thing that I'm holding on to, like this series in general, for, because we're still watching it after shooting ourselves in the head for season two, and then just continuing to watching all of this stuff just for it to slowly build itself up. So this needs an absolute mind blowing. It doesn't have to be that spectacular, but it does need to redeem itself to such a thing that this Phoenix arc is going to be absolutely amazing, because we're playing such a long game right now. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. All of that to say, this season is mid.
Okay.
How are you feeling about it?
I agree with you as far as the season being mid. It was fine. Like, if we didn't have expectations from season one, and you're just like, I just enjoy the story, I enjoy the characters, I enjoy like the drama that the series brings, and all these other things, you'd say it's pretty decent. Like most people, if you weren't swayed by season one, you could say this is like a seven. I would not give it a seven. It's probably like a six to a six and a half. It was mid. You're correct. There was interesting. They had some plot turns. You had some political things, which is kind of, it's always brings some drama to it. You had Raftalia essentially becoming the emperor or the ruler of this of Kutenlo. You had just some political games being played when they went to Sitbelt, and it was just kind of, who can you trust, who do you not trust? One of those moments. You kind of got a redeeming aspect when it came to oh man, the brother and sister. I'm drawing a
Full
Full and Nala. No,
Atla.
Atla. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, so they got some redemption. They finally were able to kind of get some closure. So like, as far as a story is concerned, it was good. There was a lot of ups and downs and twists and turns and stuff like that. Doesn't mean that the season itself was great.
Right.
uh,
Yeah, it's just a continuation of the story, and we're still on the building blocks of everything.
yeah, you
This is
had
all
the I was gonna say
and
the horny drunk orca sister.
Saldina.
Yeah, yeah,
Saldina.
yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
need to re-pull up their the character list because apparently I'm drawing a blank on.
Yeah. There's a handful of characters that we obviously need to talk about. But yeah, the biggest thing to just keep in mind is that this is just all necessary build up for how things are going to turn out in the end, and for a series like this to last so goddamn long, if we're talking about 24 plus novels. And
Yeah, you're gonna have these ebbs and flows within the heart or the beginning middle section of the story to really build this character and world development.
right.
So
And I did a quick Google search. Without diving deep into this, Google's telling me that volume 13 and 14 cover season four. So we still
okay,
have 10 plus volumes to cover for the future. So as of right now, we're just beyond halfway of the story. So there is still so much more to come. So obviously, we need so much building to do. We need so much growing. Naofumi's crew, obviously they're just going to have to continue to get stronger and stronger, and we do see that in this season, which was very nice. But we can only assume that they're, because of this knowledge that there's so much more to come, that I don't know, it's just a weird way to say, but like, we know that this isn't enough.
yeah,
So
I do. I'm gonna give my prediction about the Phoenix just because we were just talking about it, and before I forget my train of thought, I have a feeling the Phoenix is going to be the catalyst for the four cardinal heroes to finally be able to work together and get along.
100%. At the moment that the battle starts, or at least when the battle ends. How about that? I think that's more realistic. When the battle ends with the Phoenix, or at least, the finale of the Phoenix, all four cardinal heroes have to be present. They all have to work together, and they all have to take him down. And I think Matsuyatsu doing his own thing out in the wild, being a fucking weirdo that he's been, with a few scenes that we've seen him in this season, you know, relatively comical. We all know he's a weirdo, but I think it's safe to assume that he's going to be the loose cannon that's going to show up at the last minute and kind of help take out this Phoenix, really just because of those reasons.
Yes, I agree with you on that one. I feel like he's going to kind of try to do his own thing and show how much he's grown, and then
Oh, and for our listeners, Matsuyatsu was the spear hero. He's the one that's obsessed with Philo, and
in
this
a
entire season
gross
he's
way.
been in a gross way. Yeah, he's very weird. There's one comment I want to make actually we're talking about. So the one comment I want to make about him that we saw on the final episode where he like killed this pig. Well,
Yep.
let's just say pig. I don't have to say pig human. It was just this pig person thing, and it seemed to our point of view that this pig was like innocent and was asking for help. And then Motoyatsu was like, I'm going to kill you because you don't seem like a friendly. So now this dude is just kind of killing indiscriminately. So because of this, I kind of want to think that Motoyatsu is single minded, only has Philo on his mind, and he is just going to see kind of like every other race as an enemy. And he's going to be a very big problem in the upcoming season. And I think the next season is going to revolve around like the heroes trying to convince him to come back to his senses, tell him he was wrong. Of course, he's going to be like, I have never done anything wrong. And it's just, I think that's where the drama for at least a solid arc of the next season is going to be. Motiatsu is going to be a problem
Because he's an
psychologically.
idiot.
Yeah, he's an idiot. I
Yeah, I could very clearly and 100% get behind that.
Okay, so yeah, that okay. So we both agree on that one. I was rambling on. You got any more ideas?
I I kind of like that. I feel like because the Phoenix isn't here yet, they're gonna try and like find him, find Motoyatsu, and they already made a remark it about finding a bunch of craters. Well, we know who that's from, and I missed that the first time. I 100% missed that the first watch through.
And for all our listeners, just say it point blank. What are the creators?
The creators are Motoyatsu when he's fighting the assassins, and then the other people that are trying to attack Naofumi's area, because he's trying to be a good person and kind of defend Philo and get stronger and stuff. And so when the scouts for Naofumi's land go out and try to make sure that everything's safe, they find all these craters, and yeah, that's Motoyatsu being himself, I guess you could say.
Yeah, he's just a loose dog. He thinks he's doing good, but he's making chaos in his backsteps and his ruins. I don't know how I want to say that, but yeah, the best way to say it is he thinks he's doing good, but he's going to be an obvious obstacle to deal with in the next season. That's for sure.
Yes, and I feel like that's going to be some source of contention is, oh, I'm trying to do these things, and it's like, no, you're being an idiot.
Yep,
Like you
that's the
think you're trying
best
to
way to
do
say it.
this, and I feel like now for me would say that it's like, no, you're being an idiot. This is not how you do things.
Exactly, and it's 100% something now for me would say because like there was that one comment like semi early in the season where I think Shadel Shaldina was like, "Let's go drink," and then Nafumi's like, "I'd rather die." So he's just like, "I don't give two shits about anything. I have a mission. I need to do my mission. I don't care about these little side quests that you guys want me to partake in." So yeah, that's something I could totally see him doing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I did enjoy the fact that the other Cardinal heroes are actively trying to work with Naofumi and
I agree.
trying to get stronger. I did enjoy that where it was like we don't need any more tension between the three of them.
Right.
We need this to progress. So I enjoyed that aspect of the series.
Yeah, they 100% took a huge step backwards into like their egotistical side and
Hmm.
like they're falling in line because of like the greater good.
Yep.
Like Ren is recovering from his curse in Naofumi's land, and Itsuki is basically doing the same thing, but we needed long range attacks for the trip to Q10 low, so that's why he was needed. Like these guys didn't make a huge impact on season 4 alone, but we have to also recognize that these guys are important. We need them to build their not only their character, but we need them to become like a collective hero group, like the Avengers or something. We need them to like be a cohesive group. So like it was weird to see these guys play as background characters, even though they're like the most important, most powerful guys. So it's like here we're talking about ebb and flows. Like these guys are at the low points of the story, but we can only expect greater things from them in the future.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
All right, so without straying too far from season 4 material and talking about the future, let's get back into season 4. Did
Okay.
you have a favorite character that you appreciated from season 4?
Oof. Favorite character from season 4. Man. You know, I'm gonna give Shildina kind of her due justice. I think she was a really good character. Just kind of doing what she had to do for Kutenlo, trying to do what like she's the oh man. Of course, yeah,
Nico?
she is the Miku. That's what it is.
Yeah, the water
And
dragon.
yep. And I just really liked like her character design, and just kind of like everything she had to go through. And yeah, I liked her. I thought it was a really good twist to the series because I was not expecting her to be like once we got to know her a little bit better, I was like, oh yeah, that's who she is. But I wasn't expecting her existence to be a thing.
Yeah, that's fair. After knowing that like Sedina was the prior Miko,
Yep.
I truly honestly didn't expect another Miko to pop up. Obviously it makes sense that they need to replace that one, but it's also kind of fun that the route that they took, what that it was her younger sister that she never knew about,
Mm.
which we can always speculate that like I don't know what our listeners might have thought like these two girls have very similar hairstyles and they both like to drink a lot, so you could put those two and two together also with the autograph little situation. Like the anime gave us like a generous handful of obvious suggestions that Shildina was going to be the Miko and that they were related. Like they didn't they didn't make us question it. Like it was half obvious from the get go.
Yep.
So that's all fun stuff that we can play with. But yeah, Shildina was a very fun character. She had a shit ton of quirks, and she had a very honest, like humanistic kind of side to her that we all fell for, especially when I think most of us are rooting for like Rolf Talia to like just continue being the good girl that she is. So like she was willing to work hand in hand with her originally, and then when it came to the duel, Shaldina was like, okay, well, I'll duel you myself and represent everything. And like, she was willing to give up herself in order to, like, in a way, like, help the rebellion. Like, hey, if I lose, the rebellion's going to do just fine. But she has a duty to do. So it was a weird position to be in. So, like, we all, as viewers, we all understood. So it was just a good kind of path that she continued to follow.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So what about you? Who is your favorite character?
They go the shonen route on this one.
Okay.
I really appreciated Full with
Okay.
in the first quarter of this series or of this season, where Full has just been just giving his sister everything that she wanted, just being an absolute bitch about everything. But when push came to shove and we actually got to an actual good battle, and Full found himself in a situation to where he pushed himself into his next evolution to be like a half human, half tiger state. Like
Yep.
I thought that was pretty amazing to begin with. And then of course we had to backtrack like an episode or two to where Nafumi found a shield in a room where he can unlock beast transformations, and he allowed Full to turn into like a full-fledged tiger and totally flip the tide of this battle and turn, it was just really cool Honestly, it was just the transformation scene. It was really cool to see Lion Guy transform into a lion, and then Foal just transforming, and then not only transforming once, but transforming twice, which might seem a little quick. I can take some reservations on that. I think the pacing of this show is pretty quick, but I did appreciate the fact that Foal isn't going to be such a goddamn bitch all the time, and then he can actually back himself up, and he's got some power. Even though Atla in the last season was the badass, Foal kind of seemed to be the badass in this season. So I liked that they were spreading some of this just power scaling kind of thing going on.
Yes. So Full is the source of my contention for the series because we learn in season 1 that basically they mature by leveling up. And then the rest of the season we learn that's not the case. That never happens again. Raftalia is the only demi-human that aged as she leveled up. So
Ooh, the
that's
aging. That's a good point.
a,
I forgot about the aging thing.
so that's what bugs me is so Raftalia is the only demi-human that basically became an adult. And then you have
Fallen
Full
Outlaw.
who gets his transformation, but not because he leveled up, but just because he matured. Went Super Saiyan. Like I don't like he just had a transformation and now he's this creature. And I'm just like, no, no. Why are we so inconsistent with how things are going? Because Atla is obviously just as strong, and she's growing and all these other things. She doesn't get a transformation, but Full gets his.
All very true. The only thing that I'm going to question is that Raftalia is considered like a slave, and I don't have a point of memory where Full agrees to the slave crest. So
Uh,
is Full considered 100% under his control, or is he just like a really good ally?
he is a slave. Yes, yes. When so remember he buys Atla and Full when from the slave trader.
Okay, I do vaguely remember all of that. So yeah,
And basically, I don't remember exactly what the reasoning was, but it was something along the lines of we wanted to be able to make sure that we could never betray you or we could never go against what you said. It was some weird like phrase like that.
sure. Okay. Well, if that's the case, if they do have like a legit symbiosis kind of thing going on, like Raftalia has, we are definitely not being consistent with how the power scaling and just the powers in general should be working.
Yeah, that's my issue is that you gave a very clear and reasonable reason for Raftalia and then you never followed it again.
Right. Because Full and Atla were both obtained basically as children. So, by the same logic, they should automatically age up and level up the way that Raftalia did. And at least as far as like the aging and maturity of Full and Atla have been, we have seen none of that. So, yeah,
Right.
I guess I would like an explanation seeing like why that wasn't the case, because then that could put this little discussion to mute. But yeah, that's a very good thing to consider.
Yeah. Not to throw a kink into my own displeasure, we did get a like kind of an oh shit moment in the season. If you remember how trash is related to Full and Atla, we get explained that in the season.
Oh yeah, very very quickly, like
Yes,
almost offhandedly.
I had to so watch this twice, and then on the second watch through, I think I rewound it like 2 or 3 times. I'm like, am I hearing this correctly? Like, what's going on? And yes, they do explain it.
Right. So for the listeners, was there any?
Yes, the explanation from the queen is that Full and Atla's mom is Trash's sister. In
I'm
case
gonna
that got
ask.
lost for whatever reason, the relationship between Trash, Full, and Atla are that Full and Atla's mother is Trash's sister,
Right.
which super crazy. Was not expecting. We kind of got some hints that they were related in the previous season, and then just the confirmation was nice.
Yeah, right. So this, of course, it's going to be nice to see some future physical reunion kind of deal to just really solidify all that would be really nice.
Do you think he's gonna tell them at any point?
Well, I do want to say yes because that is a very big piece of drama. We already know that Fall and Atla are descendants of someone super ass powerful. So having that combined, what was his name, like Desarion or something like that, whatever their dad's name was,
Yes.
but to combine that with like the human side of like some form of royalty, I think that has to be exploited to where like these two are gonna rise in like title and just continue to increase their power because of that. Like their powers are going to increase because of their dad, and their titles are going to increase because of their mom. So I just see nothing but good coming out of their futures, and I guess that's what I would like to expect out of them.
Okay. I mean, what is it? The four great races? Is that what the white tigers are? Something along those lines? Because that's
Uh,
what.
yeah, according to like Siltfeld's little tiny little clan of great races and whatever they want to do about government stuff. But yeah, they're four great races.
Yeah, because Jarlus was attempting to overtake the white tigers. Is essentially what their dual outcome would be.
Right. And yeah, put himself amongst the great races to increase his status.
Yep. So they are essentially of a great race, and I'm trying to think. So Trash, it's not a cardinal hero, but they're what's the other term that they go by? Where
Vassal wielder?
yeah, there. So he was a vassal wielder, so he is somebody of notoriety and power and whatever else adjective you want to use for him.
Right. Yeah, the vassal wielders, is nothing to cough at. They're still super powerful.
Yep.
So we can only expect great things that would come out of anybody that holds one.
So it's just a superhuman white tigers is essentially what it sounds like.
Right. And I'm looking at this character sheet, and I'm going to obviously assume that I'm going to be definitely spoiled by what I'm seeing. So I'm spoiled, but honestly, I'm not surprised. But full is definitely going to be more important in the future. That's as much as I will say about that.
Are you on the fandom one?
Yep.
Okay.
And honestly, I'm spoiled about a couple other characters that I'm very surprised to see, but makes me more interested in them in the future. That's for sure. Especially one. Whatever. Okay, no more spoiling.
Now you got me all curious. Interesting. Okay. Yep. Couldn't. Okay. Yep. This makes for terrible podcasting. So let's continue our conversation.
Agreed.
The
I will say for I think once in my life I actually paid attention to like locations slash cities that are in an anime because most of the time anime go to different cities and they're in this city of blah blah blah. But we've spent so much goddamn time in Siltfelt and we spent so much time working our way towards Qtenlo and being learned of like the assassins of Qtenlo and just all the history that we have come to learn of the second half of the season. I find myself a little bit proud of half. I want to say proud, but it's weird to say proud. But like I finally understand like the significance of a location that I'd never in the past would have really cared much about.
okay. You want to explain yourself a little bit better?
Yeah, so just in times past, like you can go to tens of different cities in one piece and you might pick up or at the very least recognize a couple city names.
Okay.
But in this series, we spent a lot of time in Siltfelt and they said Siltfelt a lot of times and we did spend a great deal of time in Siltfelt, which was like the Shield Heroes' main port, which
Yes.
was, overrun by a stupid government. And then we've spent last season and this season working towards Q10 So like they're very needed to know names. So I don't know. Otherwise, the best thing I can say is I just feel proud of myself for remembering city names.
That is fair. I know Houghton Low had been brought up, or so sorry, Siltfelt was brought up in season one. I would assume in season two, and then obviously both Houghton Low and Siltfelt were brought up in season three. I want to say Houghton Low was brought up in season two as well. Probably about something to do with the architecture or something along those lines.
Sure.
Actually, you know what? It was in season one as well, because when Philo's mentor, I'm drawing a blank on her name. It's going to take me a second to the
Victoria.
yeah, Feltoria. When she brings up Houghton Low, she brings up how it was like created by one of the original Cardinal heroes or something along those lines, and that's why
Okay.
it looks the way it does. I remember her talking about Houghton Low.
All right. Well, that's a big plus on you because normally I don't pay attention to city stuff. I'm just more there for really the action. I know that's a big con to really breaking stuff down on my part, but I'm trying to pay a little bit more attention. So,
Yeah, and I mean that's really what gets people excited. That's why we have a lot of these series continue, is because of the action and drama and all these other things. But these locations are important. Siltfelt kept getting brought up because they were like, well, now for me should have gone there, and then now for me yada yada. Basically, everything about the Shield hero themselves was deemed to be the location that he should be, or they should be, is probably a better way to say it.
right.
And I
Well,
mean,
let's let's talk about Silfelt a little bit because we know that we left Silfelt the way we did, and
yep.
now Fumi made a comment about like before they take care of the Phoenix, he needs to make another stop at Silfelt. How are you thinking that this visit is going to like how do you think it's going to go?
I believe that with full kind of maturing and becoming more of a white tiger, he's gonna like kind of infuse himself into one of the great tribes, clans, whatever you want to call it, just to kind of bring honor back to his family and his creature status. I'm drawing a blank on how I want to
Oh,
phrase that, but you know what I'm
I would
trying to
just,
say.
I'd say race.
Yeah. And so they're going to kind of be like, all right, this is what's going to happen for the Phoenix fight, and it's going to be in preparation for all of that, and be like, you kind of owe me for all the crap
Bullshit.
you yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for everything you put me through prior to me going to Houghton Low. We now have an ally because we have Raftalia as the emperor of Houghton Low, and so now we can all work together to kind of create this large series of countries for that are for the Shield hero / all of the Cardinal heroes.
Right. That just kind of like I know I'm kind of sidetracking at this point, but Raftalia is now the official emperor of Q10
Correct.
What kind of drama do you think is going to come out of this that this new emperor is going to continue to follow the shield hero outside of Q10 basically abandoning the city in general? One, to fight for the greater good, but two, to follow the shield hero, and three, the shield hero is just going to continue to expand his territory, which Raftalia has been a part of in his tiny country, Siltfelt, and just whatever else comes after that. Like this kind of puts a really weird pin in Raftalia's new title. Do you think that like Raftalia might separate from our party?
I think if we remember, Naofumi has the ability to teleport between locations he has been to. So I think there might be some days or instances in which Raftalia won't be there because she has some duty to Cutinlo and stuff like that might happen.
Mhm.
But I think that she is going to put some sort of like, what's the basically somebody who can step in and kind of talk for her, but not exactly like make all the decisions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. Like because of Naofumi's powers like that, she can continue to run her lands, and then when duty calls, she'll arrive.
Yeah, they'll have some sort of means of communication between the two of them, and that when they desperately need her to make some sort of decision or be there for whatever reason, that she can come back. But in the meantime, there's just going to essentially be a figurehead of sorts there, and she's going to be good to do what she can with the agreement that when everything's taken care of, she comes back. I could see them doing something like that.
Mm. Interesting that you said like equal head because that makes me want to think like what if Raftalia wants to make somebody of not necessarily equal to her, but like a second in command, so that when Naofumi calls on her, her second in command can continue to run Hutinlo just the way like things need to be.
Yeah.
I can imagine that being a thing.
Yeah, maybe it's not going to be the previous emperor just because he sucked and was a child, so he's just not going to be able to do something like that.
Right. He's his title and his prior personality is considered dead. So he's going to take on a whole new that child is going to take on a whole new lifestyle, which I would assume is going to fall under the leadership of Naofumi in some way or form, whether he stays in Cutinlo or follows him back to his tiny ass country.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he just kind of settles within Naofumi's land and just kind of lives a quiet life being useful.
Yeah, the prior emperor, little boy emperor, I know he had a deep connection with Sheldina, so I wouldn't be too surprised if he's gonna be of some minor significance, just because I 100% imagine Sheldina being a big partner for us in the future. Sorry.
Yep.
So I think the old emperor is gonna work under Sheldina, and I can only imagine at in some way Sheldina is gonna be able to find a way to get rid of her title of Miko, and like I don't know, at least in all of the negative ways of being the slaughter Miko.
Yeah.
There's no longer a reason for her to just like kill just because.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Raftalia is not going to allow for that to happen.
For sure. Yeah.
So then her essentially her title will be better. Her image, that's the word I was looking for. Her image will be better. Yeah, I just kind of feel like we're gonna see him every so often. The previous emperor, and just kind of be like, hey, he's still alive. Here you go, and that's gonna be
Right.
the end of it.
Yeah, I can imagine that we're gonna get a couple more glimpses of him, and because he's still so goddamn young, maybe he'll have one more heroic event that might make him seem awesome. But yeah, I don't expect much coming out of this old titled young emperor kid
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
because most especially in this series alone, it'd be very very weird to have a time skip to allow this young emperor to age up because we still have to worry about the phoenix and all the waves of catastrophe that have to happen after the phoenix, so it's just kind of impossible to think that way.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you on that one. There's gonna be no time skips on that.
Right.
Did you have like a favorite moment at all throughout this season?
Unfortunately, I want to say there's not too many favorite moments, but I
Okay.
will go back to my favorite character of being full. I think my favorite moment was him changing into his mid form, not his full tiger form, but his like human tiger form. I thought that,
Basically his aged up form.
yeah, yeah, more realistically, I thought like that was enough of a excitement, and then they just kind of went too far and skipped a lot of steps to make him into a full tiger. I understand the way that they did things with how Naofumi found that shield, but
Yep.
my favorite moment was when Foal did turn into the humanoid tiger. That I thought that was just really cool. I wanted to see a lot come out of that. Unfortunately, not a whole lot came out of that. We got a quick fight scene out of it, but we were super psyched to see that this happened just in general. And then everything just got like eclipsed by a very new transformation that happened so quickly. And it kind of put to shame what just happened at an episode finale just an episode ago. It was just weird to see that kind of stuff. But despite all that, it was just still just amazing.
Okay. Yep. No, I can see that. That's fair.
I'm just gonna claim Full as my favorite moment. Did you have a favorite moment or a scene or anything?
Can I just say the redemption arc is my favorite, kind of Full and Atla's, because we got the backstory of. I know that's a super cop out, but it like the short cute and low part, like it was necessary because obviously Raftalia needs to be the emperor of cute and low. Gets a bunch of redeeming things. It was really cool to kind of see her become the driving force for the rebellion. I thought that was really cool, but it was kind of like it's here. We defeated the bad guy, and now it's over. Oh, you know what? No, fuck it. I'm gonna say my favorite part was when the previous was that their mom? Was that her mom? Is that who that was? Took over her body,
At the
Raftalia's
very
body.
No, that was the previous emperor. I don't want to
Yes,
say ooh, okay, ooh, that's a very good conversation. I want to say no, that has nothing to do with Raptalia whatsoever,
but that's not true because she is nobility because
right?
that was the pretentious that was the catalyst essentially is while yes putting on the what's the actual term for what she was wearing.
Oh, that kimono dress.
Yeah, the kimono. Putting that on, yeah, sure, that's one thing, but because she is nobility, that's what really stepped it up to the fact that she is quote unquote making her mark as the new emperor, or saying that she is the emperor of Cutenlo. That's what it all comes down to. So it might not have been her mom. Obviously, it was the one of the previous emperors was had a grandmother. I'm very curious on who that. I thought that was really cool. I was not expecting that as well when it came
Okay,
to
I'm
that
liking this
whole.
perspective because there was the slightest differences in like hair design between Raftalia and the previous emperor after Sheldina magically just transformed into her. So I'm glad you're saying this because I thought it was just some stupid anime logic kind of stuff that Sheldina just did that before that body took off and took care of before looking at my notes, the super bitch who was taking over the young child emperor. But I like that a lot better. That
The
Raptalia's mom was probably the prior emperor.
the heavenly emperor, I think is what they. No, that's just what they call the Cutenlo's emperor. I'm trying to see if I can find anything as far as who who that is. Let me quick Google search. Yeah, so the creature Machina, is that?
Yeah, Makima, I think.
Ma- Uh Google AI says it's nah, but
Oh, maybe that was just me listening real quickly.
yeah, yeah. So it's Machina, and then I guess no, because that's who took over. So Machina is the I don't know. I also can't think of a way to ask this correctly and not spend 30 minutes doing it. So yeah, just the transformation. I thought that was really good. I really enjoyed that. Raftalia, she gains a new ability, becomes at peace with herself, and just does everything that she really needs to do to just grow. The character development, character growth for her was fantastic.
Right.
So yeah, that's definitely I guess going to be my favorite moment in that one. There was quite a bit of development that happened throughout this season, but as far as like it is what it is. Now for me, he was finally able to get to Siltfelt and understand. We as viewers got to understand that this truly is the place that everybody does love the shield hero. The shield hero from past was a great person. Essentially, basically, he just wasn't a shitty person to demi-humans. Is kind of how I took it.
Yeah, pretty much.
And so everybody loved the previous shield hero. So then he was able to do that. But because the previous shield hero had been away for so long, people within power were basically corrupted the government and were trying to manipulate the shield hero into being this just figurehead instead of letting the shield hero be the actual figurehead. So pretty political in that aspect.
Yeah, they were trying to puppet the Shiro hero into what their vision of Siltfelt would be, instead of letting the shield hero be who his character is supposed to be in saving the world. So yeah, it was very political in that aspect.
Yeah, and using him to get their own political gain, which again, sounds very very modern 2025, 2026, however you want to talk about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we had that, but we're going to be able to use them in the future, so it's good to see who these people are. But other than that, like we got full finally being able to be at the head, being a main character for between him and his sister. So that was really good. That's it. That's all Silt felt. And then we get Low, which again revolves all about around Raftalia. We get a little bit of Naofumi here and there, but really it's just Raftalia and her kind of character growth and seeing how she's going to be the emperor of Low.
Right.
There's that in a nutshell. There is all of the season right there.
Yeah, that's everything in a nutshell. We had a couple of battles in between that were kind of weird to throw in, like the one on the sea that allowed them to split the party and Naofumi's clan to travel to Kyutenlo quicker than the rest of the clan did through the water dragons, like whirlpool things. I thought that was super fast paced and confusing. And oh crap, that's another thing that was a little bit fast paced and confusing.
Are you saying there was other things? Because that's just kind of how Raftalia was able to kind of bring the resolution between everybody in Kyutenlo. It went really quickly.
Yeah, it was relatively quickly. It was like an episode and a half's worth of stuff with the Hydra fight, where they tried to do their thing with prove that the government sent a Hydra after them, and after they took care of the Hydra, and Saldina was even like, "Is it true that you resurrected a monster to attack the people?" Like, that was all necessary, like governmental corruption kind of stuff. So obviously, this revolution was necessary, and we're all rooting for it. Ultimately, it did happen. I guess a lot of things happened relatively quickly, and I guess that's what I was trying to, remember was the season was relatively fast paced. There was a couple episodes that they spent on a couple topics, but there was just a small handful of fights that just felt a little out of place, just a little. They had their necessary components.
Yep.
I don't know. It just feels weird.
No, I get what you're saying. Where it was there was a lot of, I can't even say a lot of small things. There was a lot of really big things that happened that just, it made sense when as you watched it, the series of events that happened.
Right.
So I don't really have anything else I want to talk about. All in all, not disappointed that I watched season 4. I'm hoping season 5 will be better. If season 5 is kind of like season 4, I'll continue to watch it. Be mildly disappointed is probably the best way to describe it.
Yeah, 100% agree. I do not expect season 5 to be like, hey, now we're all together 2 episodes in, it's time for the Phoenix fight, because obviously the way that season 4 has gone, we're not that close to it. So at this rate, if we're not there, I guess I would just say I would expect the Phoenix fight, if it doesn't happen in the last quarter of season 4, it necessarily has to happen at the finale.
I can see that. That I would be okay with that one if it happened in the finale.
Yeah. It's just because we didn't end this season with any kind of true preparation. So we need to have some real preparation for the next season because you can't go into a battle because one hero wants it to happen. Like, we got too many governments involved, too much is happening. We need to have some real structural stuff happening in order for some big battle that we spent seasons working towards happen. And at
Yeah,
that rate, if we're talking about a phoenix, this thing's gonna die, and it's not gonna die. So I think the phoenix battle has to be spectacular, and it's gonna have to happen at least 6 episodes worth or more of content because you can't work towards a phoenix. Whatever. I'm just saying. I don't. I want to stop complaining. So it just has to. It just has to be great.
yeah, no, that's completely fair. You can't cheat. When you think of a phoenix, you think of something very strong and being able to resurrect itself at in nauseum. So you can't have it get killed once and that be the end of it.
Exactly.
Well, awesome. I I think I am looking forward to season 5, despite what some of my comments may be. I will 100% watch it. I am looking forward to it. I'm very curious about what's going to happen
Yeah.
moving forward.
Yeah, I agree. Whether or not season 5 is a bit of a flop or not, I'm already too far deep. I'm committed. I want to see how the story finishes out. It is still interesting nonetheless. So yeah, I do 100% plan on continuing the series.
As far as seasons are concerned for us as the podcast, I want to say this is the most we have covered in the most singular seasons. I think this is the first time we've covered 4 different seasons uh, at once. So that's I want to say that's a first for us.
Yeah, I think you're right because Slime is only 3 seasons long that we covered despite like the movies and the Slime Diaries.
Yep,
Definitely not the most content, but the most series, like true series.
most standalone seasons.
Right.
Yes, yeah, because I want
Yeah.
to say we did cover 4 seasons with My Hero, correct?
We did seasons 1 through 3 in one clump sum.
Yep. So okay, yep.
So yeah,
And
that's as far as we went.
yeah, so this is a series that isn't our favorite. Well, yeah, because you UU is technically 4 seasons, so we covered that all in one lump sum as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, we had this is the first time we've covered the 4th season by itself of a series.
Yeah, very interesting.
So yeah, it's thank you for anybody who has listened to all of the other 3 seasons of this series, and yeah, we appreciate it.
Yeah, 100%.
Before we go though, Lance likes to make my life more difficult with Pokemon quizzes, and let's see how I can do this time around with no help.
Yes, and because you don't have any help,
They're all true false questions. Got it. Yes.
I almost wanted to make all of them true false, but we're gonna jump into Generation 1 questions, and the first one will be that. So, when Machop evolves into Machoke, he is wearing a belt. Now, true or false? After Machoke evolves into Machamp, he loses that belt.
I am going to go with false.
You are correct.
Nice.
Machamp does continue to wear a belt on himself.
I cannot visualize him in the slightest, but way to go, me.
Yeah, you're mostly paying attention to maybe his head and his forearms, but yeah, Machamp is still wearing that belt.
Okay.
All right, question number 2. What typing is Tangela?
Grass. I'm always hesitating because I'm trying to remember if the first gen had dual typing.
Well, to be fair, I did say we're jumping into Gen 1.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go with just grass.
Just grass?
Yep.
Okay. You are correct with just grass.
Nice.
All right, question number 3. What level does Drowsy evolve?
It's going to be stupid because this Pokemon sucks. I'm going to. Oh man, you get him pretty early, but you don't get Hypno for a while. I'm gonna go with. It's Let's go with a weird number. Let's go with 33.
Okay. You're wrong. I'll give you 2 hints. 1, it's lower, and 2, it is a little weird.
27.
Ooh, you are so close. The correct answer is that drowsy evolves at level 26.
Oh, so close.
So close.
The fact that I got 1 off is pretty funny. I don't know if I ever really ran with a hypno.
Definitely can say that I have never ran with a drowsy or a hypno in my team.
There's just better psychics.
That's basically what it comes down to. Maybe if drowsy was an early game kind of Pokemon, it might be a little bit different, but he's just kind of one of those things that's just like, you're just another Pokemon.
Yeah, because I want to say you get Ghastly before drowsy. Or
in the OG
area. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So you're just going to run around with Ghastly and go that way.
Yeah, and quite honestly, right now, I can't even remember where you can even catch a drowsy. Quick Google search.
You're going to get it in the town after.
Oh my god. Apparently, I guess this is bringing back some memories. You can catch drowsy in Route 11 in the tall grass after Vermilion City, just passing Diglett's Cave. So after you get to the 3rd gym, which is Lieutenant Surge, go to the right, past Diglett's Cave, past Snorlax.
Yep.
Oh, wait, Snorlax. No, yeah, Snorlax is there. And then there is just a weird rotation of grass where you can find random Pokemon, like Magnemite. I remember he's in there, Rattata, and just a bunch of other shit Pokemon. And you fight a bunch of random ass trainers, and that'll bring you eventually, if you keep going right, you'll go to, like, I don't want to say the sea, but you'll follow like this water borderline where you can continue following that south all the way down to Koga's gym. Anyway.
Yes.
Pass. Apparently drowsy is in that area. So I guess technically you do get him relatively early.
Yeah, but you still get Ghastly first.
No, actually you don't. You don't get Ghastly until you go through the Dark Cave. And that's slightly after Vermilion City. So there is a little bit of a jump there.
All right, now I need to look at this. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm watching this going...
Because Ghastly's going to be in Lavender Town in the cemetery tower. And
I mean, sure.
You're not going to have access to that until after you beat Lieutenant Surge and head through to the Dark Cave. So...
Yeah, but... Yeah. I mean, true. Still a useless Pokemon.
Yeah.
I wouldn't run around with Ghastly. I mean, I suppose, but I'm pretty sure that's the next route you would go after.
Yes. There isn't going to be much of a time difference between Drowsy and Ghastly, so if you wanted to go that route, then yeah.
Yeah, that's probably what ended up happening. Is I would catch a Drowsy, use him for a minute, and be like, oh, but I like Ghastly better because he's immune to, or not affected by normal attacks. Yeah,
right.
So just the benefit there is too much to not use him.
Right. Ultimately, Gengar is going to be much more useful than a Hypno. So
correct.
Yeah. So that's Drowsy. But yeah, that's going to be my Pokemon quiz for today. Congratulations. You got 2 out of 3. So that's a very big plus towards you.
Yes, definitely a win. In my case, I'm happy about that. Hopefully, any of our listeners, please let us know if how you did on your Pokemon quiz, if you've gotten this far. Also, please subscribe to the Anime Show on Facebook and Instagram. Check out all the awesome anime content they have on there. And if you want to get some more shenanigans from Lance and I, check out the D&D podcast that is on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's called D&D Noobs, Noobz. Lance does a good job of being a dungeon master, and we have a lot of shenanigans with a couple of our friends. So it's a good time. It's definitely a good time, and we are very much novices when it comes to D&D. And that is all we have for this episode. So please subscribe to us wherever you are listening to this podcast episode. Drop a like and leave a comment. What did you think of season 4 of The Rising of the Shield Hero. Have a good one.
Later, guys.